talking about AEW Revolution. That is this weekend. It's from LA. It's an AEW pay-per-view. They got a pay-per-view, I believe, Dynasty this year. Where is that this year? Oh, that's in Vancouver on April the 12th, kind of shoehorned in there before WrestleMania. But before we
You're
get
not
to that
going.
one,
You're not going to that one.
I am not going to that one. I'm a little busy when it comes to wrestling that time of the year. And if, kind of a little inside baseball here, we've got a lot of wrestling. I mean, obviously, I'm going to Las Vegas for WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
the week prior, there is like a ton of wrestling that just happens to be coming to the central New York area at like the worst possible time because it's all like when I can't go to all of it because we got WrestleMania going on. There's NXT's coming to town. There's TNA who's coming to town. There's actually an independent wrestling show on April the 12th I might go to in Binghamton, which is NXT versus TNA versus Excite Wrestling, which is a local company. So they're going to have a mix of the stars there. So I imagine it's because TNA stars will be in town for the following week. So,
Yeah.
a lot of wrestling locally. So no, I won't be hitting a plane.
Not making that trip.
I won't be making that trip to Vancouver, but this weekend we've got from Crypto.com Arena, right down the street. Actually, I thought kind of weird because the Oscars are this weekend in LA. So this is going on at the same time, not too close to each other as I looked it up because I was just curious. But two events, major events. I would say the Oscars maybe a little bit bigger than AEW Revolution into the Globosphere, if you will. But a big pay-per-view nonetheless because it's headlined by MJF and Adam Page, this last chance Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. If Page loses, he can't challenge for the world title ever again, regardless if MJF has it. So do you see Adam Page winning back the belt, or does he got to essentially be like Cody Rhodes and just take off?
That's the million dollar question. I mean, on paper, I mean, it makes sense. I don't like these stipulations. He can never challenge for a championship ever
No,
again.
I don't like it either.
To me, it's a cheap gimmick to get interest. I don't know, why do we have to have so many Texas death matches? Like, I don't understand it. Like, why can't we just have a really good like street fight or just a no DQ kind of match? Like, I
Yeah, they
don't.
use Texas death matches in AEW like Hell in a Cell, but the problem is, they're starting to use it like Hell in a Cell WWE like late 2000s where it's like,
It's being
two, three
overdone.
times a year.
Yeah, it's losing its luster. I mean, I'll say this: if Hangman doesn't win and he can't challenge again, don't be surprised. I don't know what his contract looks like. I don't know the details of that, but maybe he comes to WWE. I don't know. I don't know how that would all work. But I feel like they AEW and Tony Khan are gonna do everything they can to keep Hangman. So I feel like this tells me that MJF's dropping the title. I just that's my gut feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's leaving AEW or anything like that. He's not, on the rumors to be going to the WWE or anything like that. I just wish to also maybe, they go to Texas enough. They can keep the Texas Death Match when they're in Texas, that kind of thing. That's how you know they use it too much because they use it in Texas, but then they use it now out of
You
Texas
said
as
in
well.
LA.
Yeah, so they're using it like kind of all over. Overall on this card, obviously, that's your championship match right there. That's your main event. Anything else? There's no time limit match for the Continental Championship. Don't give AEW any good ideas when it comes to no time limit. Geez, what are they going to pull out for that?
Or like a
Um, with John Moxley, is he going to go an hour and a half? Uh,
I would say I don't think it's going to go that long, but it probably in typical AEW fashion, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 45 minute match. Like you know what though, I am looking forward to, and I know we've seen it a lot, but I always enjoy FTR and the Bucks. I feel like I can't get enough of it. Like I just always enjoy those matches. Like AEW, like you can put that out there, and it's I'm gonna watch it because I like both tag teams. They have great in ring chemistry against each other, and obviously as each tag team. So that's going to be a fun match. I'm actually looking forward to that. I mean, I'm looking forward to Bandito and Andrade. Like I think that'll be a good match too.
I think the trios match for the World Trios Championship as the Don Callis family currently won the championships from, I think Jet Speed had them. If I wasn't mistaken, it was a group with Hangman and Page was one of the champions with Jet Speed. But now it's Mystico and Jet Speed against Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis. So I look forward to that. I think Mike Bailey, is I don't want to say the next big thing in wrestling, but obviously he's Ricochet, he's Neville, he's, Will Ospreay. He's kind of all of those things. I know he's not young. You know, I mean, he is young. He's 30. I mean, 35 isn't super.
35 in wrestling is like young. So 35,
I
like
true.
wrestling's a different animal. If you're in your mid 30s, like that's when you get to be your best. I feel like is in your mid to late 30s. I feel like because like I mean, guys will usually wrestle. I mean, don't give Ric Flair any ideas because he could wrestle. He'll wrestle tomorrow if he wanted if he could. But a lot of times the bet like your back end of your career is like look at Randy Orton. Randy Orton, I believe, is 46. I think so. Like once you're getting close to like 50 is like really like okay now it's time to like all right let's it's starting to slow down a little bit. I think Speedball is only like 35. I think he's only a year or two younger than me, so he's not that like by wrestling terms he's got a good 10, 12 years left easily.
I mean, you got FTR and the Young Bucks again. The Young Bucks won a number one contendership match. They're going for the tag belts. You know, I just feel some, I is maybe it's just because I don't watch it as thoroughly as WWE, but I mean I would say like Swerve Strickland and Brody King. That's kind of a new match. I'm interested in that. Obviously, Brody King with his title opportunities like a month ago, kind of got himself in the main event picture more so than he was before. Obviously, he's not with on Aleister Black anymore. He's over in WWE, so he's kind of having to make his own way.
Yeah.
But that's a match I could look forward to. I mean, Swerve Strickland is always entertaining. I always like to see him against with new people. He's not in the world title picture. But FTR and the Young Bucks, I mean, it just seems like, sure, it's going to be a great match, but I mean, it just feels so repetitive. Is it just me?
It is. It's AEW. Like they just to me, it's like we're just gonna we're gonna go to that well a bunch of times. It will work. It works for me, like I just said a few moments ago with FTR and then Bucks. Like in certain circumstances, you can go to that well a bunch, and it's not gonna dry up, so to speak. So, but overall, like matches that okay, cool, we saw it. Like I don't need to see it again, or I don't need to see it anytime soon. But I feel like they keep hammering and hammering and hammering certain matchups all the time. I'm just it kind of that's I feel like they got to freshen it up more because I think that's another reason why AEW is in the situation that they're in. I just feel like they have their niche audience. I feel like they're not doing anything to help grow their audience. That's the problem with them.
I mean, unlike WCW, I think the positive is they have a little bit more freedom with cash, and the person who runs the show likes the show. I guess WCW did so well early on when Ted Turner bought them because it seemed like Ted Turner was somewhat of a wrestling fan. But later on, when the people who were running, distributing the money were no longer wrestling fans, it was different. I think Tony Khan is essentially gets the money himself. He's not Eric Bischoff in this situation. He is
No.
Ted Turner. I know his dad is Ted Turner in this situation. But he is Ted Turner in the situation that, he likes the product and he's got the money. So they're doing a little better in the sense of they're not like WCW in that regard. And they can, figure out what makes them work, but you are right. It is like WCW where they have their audience. And just like WCW, I think more wrestling fans watch WCW than watch WWF because WWF was getting a little silly in the 90s and WCW was trying to be more, adult, reality oriented. And AEW is for the sickos, as they like to say.
Yes.
I like AEW for sure. I just feel that for an alternative product, it's just difficult. TNA, I think, is a great alternative product because their shows are once a week. And their pay-per-views are a lot more spread out. And they still have a little more of that WWE element in it where the characters are a little more colorful, right? In the sense that, a little more colorful, a little more personality. I think like Mike Bailey's got a lot of personality. But AEW has kind of always got that darker persona, if you will. When you watch the shows, they've always got the ring lights like the main event style where it's like a darker ring. And I don't know if that's just because to hide empty seats. That could be that too. But it just has that more MMA presentation to it versus, well-lit arenas and things like that, where it's like wild colors. I mean, I'll give it up. Revolution has got some wilder colors in this comparison of previous Revolutions. I remember the one I went to 2 years ago now, Sting's last match. He's been out of wrestling for 2 years. As AEW Revolution was his last match, and they had the teal color, the teal and black for the logo with like the the kind of like robotic, look like the RoboCop logo. Now they're in LA with the bright yellow and the palm trees and things like that. I mean, it should be an alright pay-per-view, and I'll check it out, and we'll see how excited I guess Revolution makes me for Dynasty down the line. It's crazy to think this is the seventh Revolution in AEW's history, and it is coming this Sunday night.